marking 79 years since the U.S. nuclear bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hello and welcome to VOA Asia Weekly. I'm Jessica Stone in Washington. We'll get to that story in just a moment, but first, making headlines. Bangladesh swore in a new government led by Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus Thursday. It comes just 3 days after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country. At least 250 people died in a crackdown on protests against job quotas and ultimately her government. Cambodia broke ground this week on a 180-kilometer canal linking the capital city of Phnom Penh to the Gulf of Thailand. China is financing the $1.7 billion project through its Belt and Road Initiative. Cambodian officials hope that the Phunan Tejo Canal will lower the cost of shipping and reduce reliance on Vietnamese imports. Thai businessman and politician Pita Limjaroenrat was banned from politics for 10 years and his party dissolved Wednesday over his attempt to reform the kingdom's royal defamation laws. The Constitutional Court in Bangkok voted unanimously to dissolve the Move Forward Party. Members of that party say they will form a new one. Here's what Pita told VOA ahead of the decision.
The definition of constitutional monarchy of Thailand will be at stake.
The Philippines and Vietnam kicked off their first joint Coast Guard training in Manila Bay this week. Both nations have competing claims with Beijing over parts of the South China Sea. Friday's drills focused on search and rescue as well as fire and explosion prevention, according to Philippine officials. South Korean pistol shooter Kim Yoo-ji returned home after winning the silver medal in the Olympic Games. She thanked Tesla CEO Elon Musk for making her a social media sensation after he praised her on X, formerly known as Twitter. Japan issued a tsunami advisory after a 7.1 magnitude earthquake occurred off the southern island of Kyushu. It happened at around 4:42 p.m. local time on Thursday. And Japan also this week marked the 79th anniversary of the bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at a time when the entire country is changing its attitude towards war. Henry Widrell reports.
At 8:15 a.m. on Tuesday, the exact time that the atomic bomb exploded 600 meters above Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, Japan held a minute's silence to remember the horrors visited on the city.
It is the mission of Japan, the only country to have suffered nuclear war, to pass on the reality of the atomic bombings to future generations.
The manner of Japan's defeat changed the country, driving an aversion to war and military power that lasted for generations. But analysts say that is changing as the country faces numerous regional threats.
The DPRK's nuclear missile programs, Chinese military assertiveness, territorial claims in the East China Sea, Russia's closer military cooperation with China in the past couple of years.
Those threats prompted Japan to last year announce a doubling of defense spending to 2% of GDP by 2027. Last week, the United States, Japan's closest ally, announced a major upgrade of its military command in the country. Tokyo has repeatedly sought assurances from the US that it would be prepared to use extended deterrence or its nuclear weapons to defend Japan. Responding to Japan's changing military posture, China last month said that Tokyo needs to seriously reflect on its history of aggression. Analysts say Japan is facing up to multiple threats, not least from China itself. Henry Richwell, VOA News, Tokyo.
Visit voanews.com for the most up-to-date stories. I'm Jessica Stone. Finally, she was named for one Olympic Games and is now participating in her first. 19-year-old Sydney Francisco of Palau is named after the Olympics where her mother, Peoria Kashiba, competed in the 100-meter race in the 2000 Sydney Games. Kashiba went on to compete in the 2008 Beijing Games as well. This year, Sydney competed in the women's 100-meter preliminary round but did not advance to round one of competition. Thanks for watching VOA Asia Weekly.